Hi friends, I am Dr. Thomas from Vadagara. I am a research scholar at School of Behavioral Sciences, Kannur University. I am doing my research in management of dyslexia among lower primary students in Kerala. Today, I would like to share some ideas on homeopathic research. The homeopathic research in India and around the world is not getting proper attention from the scientific community. They are rejecting our research activities. Why this happen? Why they are not getting proper attention to our researches? There is only one answer to the question. The answer is the homeopathic researchers in India and around the world were not done according to the proper scientific methodology. You may be felt wondered or even angered with me by hearing this answer. Just wait. I will show you an example. In 2003, Stevenson et al. Conducted a study on homeopathic arnica for prevention of pain and bruising, a randomized placebo-controlled trial in hand surgery. The study was conducted and the result was concluded as there was no difference between the placebo group and the arnica group. In simple, the medicines were not good for bruising and pain. What do you think about this study? The researchers hypothesized that the arnica can be used for all types of bruising pain. Was it a proper hypothesis? Was it a good hypothesis? No. Can we use natromur for all headaches? Can we use belladonna for all pains? And can we use calibec for all types of sinusitis? No. For prescribing and getting a result from homeopathic medicine, we should consider another important criterion. That is what is called individualization. Individualization is a homeopathic principle, and homeopathy is a medical discipline based on certain principles. So the researchers in homeopathy also have to obey such principle. Likewise, preparation of synopsis is the first step to be done in a homeopathic research. So what is synopsis? Synopsis is a blueprint of our proposed study. We are planning the study to be done according to the steps described in the synopsis. Normally, there are 11 steps in a synopsis preparation. So we can go through the every steps. The first step to be thought of is selection of the topic. The topic should be selected on which we are going to conduct our research. The second step is we have to write down an introduction for our synopsis. What is your problem? What are the epidemiological indices like prevalence rate, incidence rate, mortality rate, morbidity rate? All these epidemiological indices should be discussed according to the international level, national level, and state-wise. The next point is to be added in the introduction is the current trends. What are the current trends available on the particular problem? Suppose it's a migraine. You are going to conduct a research on migraine. You have to find out the prevalence rate and the incidence rate, mortality rate, and morbidity rate, and the treatment trends of migraine. All these all these points should be included in the introductory section. The third step is the theoretical background. So What is a theoretical background? What are the points to be added in a theoretical background? Theoretical background is the backbone of your study. It provides the theoretical backup for the proposed study. So you have to find out the symptoms, you have to find out the etiology, you have to find out all such professional diagnosis, everything should be added in the theoretical background. And another thing to be added in the review of literature is related studies. You have to note down all the studies related to the proposed topic for a period of 10 years, at least for 10 years. Suppose you are doing a research in 2017, you have to add the studies from 2007. That all should be done in theoretical background. The fourth step in a synopsis preparation is need and significance. You have to write why did you carry out this study, why this study. So what are the benefits you are going to get from this study? What the benefit are you are offering to the nation? What are the benefits you are offering to the participant, and what you will get personal as a personal benefit? All these benefits and all these points should be mentioned in your need and significance. The next step is the problem statement. What is the problem statement? The problem statement is the proper statement of the selected problem. It should be clear, it should be mentioned in its full form. There should not be any ambiguity in the problem statement. Next step to be added is the objectives. What are the objectives of the proposed study? You should explain your objectives in two headings, like major objectives and specific objectives. So what's a major objective? Is the major objective of your study, suppose you are going to conduct a study on efficacy of a homeopathic medicine on adenoid treatment. So there will be several symptoms can be arised from adenoids, which includes nasal obstruction, hoarseness, snoring, etc. So the major objective is to find out the effectiveness of homeopathic medicine for treatment of adenoids. Then minor objective is to find out the effectiveness of homeopathic treatment in reducing snoring, in hoarseness, in nasal obstruction, like that. So another step to be added in the synopsis preparation is the major and another important thing in research, that is what is called hypothesis. What is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is a testable statement. It's a statement which explains a relation between two variables, that is independent variable and a dependent variable. There will be a relationship between these two variables. Actually, in a research, we are going to prove the hypothesis which we have already stated. Normally, the hypothesis is stated as a negative meaning, and that is what is called a null hypothesis, H0. Suppose you are conducting the research on adenoids, you have to state the hypothesis as the homeopathic medicine will not reduce the symptoms of adenoids. By research, we are going to test the tenability of the proposed hypothesis. Another important step is you have to write down the methods you are going to use in the proposed study, which includes you have to mention the design. If it is an experimental design, you have to write out the proper experimental design. If it is a non-experimental design, you have to write down the designs you are going to be used in the study. And if it is a quasi-experimental design, you have to note down what the design you are going to be used in the proposed study. The next point is the sample. So what is your sample? For that sample, you have to mention the sampling technique. You have to mention the universe from which you are selecting the sample. You have to mention the population from which you are selecting the sample. You have to mention the size of the sample and inclusion and exclusion criteria. The size of the sample varies according to whether it is an experimental design or a non-experimental design. The inclusion and exclusion also you have to be added. And methods, you have to mention what are the variables you are going to study. What are the independent variables? What are the dependent variables you are going to study in the current proposed study? So in the tools, another important point to be added under the methods is tools. So what is tools? The tools is an instrument which is used to measure the specific problem. Suppose you are going to study the level of depression among adolescent girls. You have to measure the level of depression. How much intensity the adolescent girls are having the state of depression. So normally we are using for measuring the depression some inventories like Beck's depression inventory or some ICD criteria or some DSM-5 criteria. So like that, you have to use an instrument to measure the problem. The usual tools include personal data scheduled, informed consents are also comes under tools. Another one is technique. Technique means what are the independent variable you are going to use to change the dependent variable. That independent variable or method of intervention, the method of treatment you are going to use in the proposed study is called techniques. In homeopathic research, the homeopathic medical treatment, homeopathic medicine may be used as the technique. Sometimes we are going to find out the effectiveness of a combined treatment like homeopathy plus yoga therapy. So there will be two different intervention methods or techniques. One is homeopathy, the other one is yoga therapy. Sometimes may be mixed. Along with homeopathic medicine, we are using yoga therapy. So the mixed form is can be used as or be named as the technique. Another point to be added in the methods is procedure. You have to write down the entire process from sampling procedure, some data collection and analysis in word by word in their form procedure in a synopsis. The next step is the statistical analysis. While stating the hypothesis, you have to mention what type of statistical procedure you can add there. Suppose you are going to find out the effectiveness, you can use a Cochrane T as a statistical method test, or a MANOVA, multiple analysis of variance, or a priority test for find out the effectiveness. If there is a difference to compare two groups of intervention, you can see the difference. For finding out the difference, you can use ANOVA or t-test. To find out the relationship between two variables, that you can use Pearson correlation. So all such statistical, analytic tests have to be noted down in the preparation of synopsis. The next is the organization of report. After conducting the study, you have to make a report. That is what called dissertation or thesis. On that organization of report, you have to mention in each chapter what are the contents to be added in each chapter. Like the first chapter contains introduction, the second chapter contains review of literature, the third chapter contains tool development, like that. all the chapter, what are the contents to be added in the each and every chapter, you have to be noted down in the synopsis. And last and final one is references. You have to note down the references you have used in the proposed study, proposed synopsis according to a standardized format. It can be an American Psychiatric Association format, APA format, or Vancouver format, or Chicago format, whatever it may be. These are the main steps to be added while preparing a synopsis for homeopathic research. Thank you, friends, watching my video. I am Dr. Thomas, signing off this time. Thank you.